how long did you wait before the Misfits, before putting Sam Hain together, and why?
I did, the last show, like formal show I did with the Misfits was the Civic show with Black Flag.
I remember that show.
Okay, I quit that night. I told him I'm out of the band. Me and him had always been talking about doing a band together because they're both unhappy with both of our bands. And so I did one more show at the Misfits, which was the final Misfits show in Detroit, because we always had a big crowd there and a lot of people, you know, we just felt we owed it to them. We did one final show on Halloween in Detroit, and also that's the night of Sam Hain, and that's when Sam Hain actually started that night.
Drummer for that show was named Brain Damage. He got drunk before the show and couldn't play properly. So after a few songs, you escorted him off the stage. Things came to a head, and Danzig announced to the audience that it would be the band's final show.
We need more drums in the monitors. We can't hear what the fuck we're doing.
I'll just blow this one off really quick, but if you could give like 25 words or less, what accounted for the demise of the Misfits?
So many things. That's a difference in musical direction.
The Misfits was just becoming this like kind of comic book Kiss thing, and I was never a big Kiss fan. So a little more real, a little darker, a little more violent.
Lack of touring, like this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, and for the other guys it was just kind of like, a hobby. They work for their father, and the band wasn't making enough money for, for them to stop working for their father, and I, thought the band was, and, just things like that, and not getting along together anymore either, It was together too many years,
Yeah. Okay, that's fair enough.
For us, the Misfits never stopped. In 1983, we broke up and tried to put the band back together in 85, but we ran into legal problems, which took 13 years to solve.
Where are they living?
They're living up in Vernon Valley.
And what are those guys doing now?
Nothing. Working for their dad.
So we were building our guitars and designing our equipment, and we didn't have a singer, so we would work on riffs. So after about a year of this, we had all these riffs, so we started to put them together as an album.
And basically, the Misfits was my name, my song, so that was the end of the Misfits.
So in pursuit of trying to regain our name, we went out and hired lawyers. The first lawyer was not good for us. He was bad. And the second lawyer managed to get a settlement where we received our name. We had to let go of our old song publishing and other things. But for us, money wasn't the issue. It was the issue to come back and play for the kids.
Do you ever do any Misfits or Sam Hain songs?
No.
They just put that as in the past?
Is this band called the Misfits or Sam Hain? Right. No, it's called Danzig.
Okay.
Yeah. Why do you keep asking questions about that? You want me to just pop you?
I was just curious. There's people out there that are a little bit curious about stuff like that.
Here's my viewpoint on this. This is it. It's the end. Both those bands, there was a time when those bands were around, and the magazines were around then, and they should have asked the questions about those bands at that time.
I don't know. It was tough back then.
It was a lot of work.
A lot of people, maybe embellish it as the years go on, or people look back on it and we're like, oh, but it was like, you didn't make any money. You drove around in a van. Some nights you'd play for, a couple thousand people, and some night you'd play for like 50 people. That's the way it was,
So it takes these bands, legends, to live on, and then you want to ask questions about it with these other people. Well, you should have asked them a long time ago.
The question maybe you don't want to hear again, but of course, did you ask Glenn again?
Yes, we did.
That's end?
He threw us out of his hotel. We took that as a no. When we settled the lawsuit that we had between Glenn and Caroline Records, that our fans, said, a lot of them said, don't deal with Glenn. And a lot of them said, well, you guys should get Glenn back in the band.
Now, but you did have a deal with Jerry Only, correct? there is some kind of deal that you guys have worked out where he can use the name legally?
A long time ago. You know, it's like, I'm not going to use it, so, you know, but he has to say who's in the band, and he doesn't do that anymore, so it's kind of misleading.
So we went down, we didn't want to talk to his management, we wanted to talk to him. So we tracked him down and we went to his hotel. And I got somebody in his room on the phone, and Doyle, I've seen what room number it was. Doyle went up and banged on the door, and he had security escort us from the building, so we got kicked out, and we took that as a no.
So since the Misfits and Sam Hain were all on Plan 9, which was your record label, which is your record label. And you're treading on thin ice, Ricky. So I don't bring it up anymore. I learned that lesson in Germany. I learned that lesson in Germany, bringing up that word. Wait.
I'm happy that he said no, because I fulfilled my obligation to the fans by asking him. I really didn't want him back in the band because we have problems with him.
How are things between you and Jerry now? I haven't talked to Jerry in about 16 years.
But do you appreciate like this kind of cult following that you still have with the Misfits? Like we got at least in here 2 big fans of you. Like they have all the records.
That's cool. Yeah, the music is meant to last, you know. And so the Misfits, Sam Hain, and hopefully Danzig will last.
You just referenced Doyle's participation in doing the 30-minute set of Misfits material. How did that happen? And did you go wholeheartedly into that, or did you have to be persuaded to do that? Because, you know, I know that you're always a visionary and looking ahead.
I think we just started talking, and it just eventually came about. I mean, I think I asked him, you know, because they left the Misfits, and I asked him if he was going to still perform or not, and he said, yeah, well, you know. I think it just eventually came about in our conversations, and eventually it happened. I mean, he's right there. You can ask him, you know.
How do you feel, Doyle, about these string of shows that you've been doing with Glenn after all these years? I mean, how does it feel to be back on the stage with him?
Good. Are you happy that the new version of the Misfits are touring and still putting out CDs?
I don't really care.
You don't care either way.
Yeah.
And, you know, if we went back dealing with Glenn, it would all be about money. And then it would be nothing. What we would have is nothing. Look, people say, oh, well, Jerry's all about the money. If I was about the money, I'd play with Glenn. You know, that would be it. I'd make 10 times more than I'm making because everybody wants to see this, you know, hocus pocus thing.
And I have to ask, and I hope I don't tread on muddy waters here, but I've read where, Glenn, you've said, you know, this is as close that anyone is ever going to see of a Misfits reunion. And let me ask you.
That's pretty true. I don't see it.
Let me ask.
For me, yeah, that's.
So you don't ever anticipate there ever being a reconciliation between you and Jerry?
I'm not doing a reunion with him.
Ever?
Yeah, it's not happening.
I'd rather pump gas, you know, and hang with Glenn, with Uncle Des and watch the Giants.
I don't know about that. I know that right now, and at least for the foreseeable future, I can't see it happening. And then you can ask the man right there, too.
How do you feel about that, Doyle?
I think that's up to him, right?
Yes, it is.
You can't make the sandwich without the bread. It's up to you. I'll do whatever, but it's up to you.
It's kind of like a marriage. When you're married and you get, you know, with the woman and everything is running good, and then you have problems and you split up. Doesn't mean that the times together were bad. It means that times now aren't really, you know, as good as they should be.
Former Misfits members Glenn Danzig, Doyle Wolfgang von Frankenstein, and Jerry Only last made music together in 1983. But after a near reunion about 10 years ago fell apart, fans are still wanting to see the three share a stage again and play the older songs the way they were originally intended. Jerry still maintains the Misfits name and carries on the tradition. However, fans are rabid for a new album from the reunited three. Well, that seems like a distant reality in 2013. As for the reunion, what happened?
Glenn set up a meeting. Me and Jerry flew out. We met his manager and him. We had a talk. We were going to do it. The next day, we weren't going to do it.
There was a rumor that Glenn and Doyle actually asked to have a reunion and that you said no.
Well, that's pretty interesting because it was something that could never really occur. I mean, you know, the thing is, you got two different philosophies on life, and something that you know, could have been entertained, but you know, there's just too much ego and too much you know, corporation talk involved, and I mean, we're not that, you know.
They both want to be the boss, so it's just like, you know what I mean? So instead of everybody just saying, okay, let's do this.
I mean, our egos is not bigger than our obligation to our fans.
You know what I mean? Well, you got to be the boss. Who gives a f***? You know what I mean? I find that this is the only fucking business in the world where a bunch of people can't get along to make millions of dollars. You know? What the fuck is wrong with everybody? Does it suck to play music? No. I'm ready to do it right now. I'll drop what I'm doing. I'll put the Doyle record right here, and we'll go do it.
Look, I got a lot of respect for Glenn. I always thought that Glenn had a lot of talent, and I just think that, you know, Glenn, I don't want to say is misguided, but I think that he's got a message that's not productive for the people who get it.
That's kind of been blown out of proportion. The satanic thing has been blown out of proportion. There are lots of different things going on in the songs. The fans know.
I like Glenn. I never really disliked Glenn as a person.
Those guys, just gotta talk to them. You know, I started talking to them, and like I said, everything's got to be ironed out.
As we get near the end of this interview, many people will stand back and look at Glenn and your career and all the things that you're doing now, and people might say, Glenn Danzig's really come full circle. Do you agree with that?
I don't know what that means.
Meaning, like, you've done it all. I mean, what else?
No, I haven't done it all.
You haven't done it all?
No, the best is yet to come. Yeah, that's for sure. Man, I want to do a lot, you know? I want to keep just expanding, you know?
And what you'll find is that I think that the Misfits has more ahead of it than behind it.
Riot Fest, September 18th, Douglas Park, Chicago. You're only doing 2 shows. I mean, we're hoping a tour's coming out of this, but two confirmed shows.
If they run well and we find that we are hitting the potential, you see, the thing is with us, we're a legendary act. We need to live up to what people conceive us to be. And the beauty of it is that Glenn's in great shape. My brother looks like friggin' Hercules. And, you know, I dropped about 20 pounds. Even Mancow noticed it. You know, I'm running every day, playing basketball with my nephews, trying to, you know, get that kind of mobility going. And then I rehearsed the set about 3 times a day. We got it on CD. We just got back from LA and we recorded the set. So I put it in, we put it through the PA, and we rehearsed to it. So it's like 1 hour of cardio, really. And so it's going to be us at the top of our game. And the thing is that I'm bringing the Winnebago for her last voyages, one to Denver and then again to Chicago. So
wow,
you know, it's old school. You know, I don't want to lose that old school vibe. I think that if we become, you know, rock stars, we're going to forget why we came. And the reason we came was to really go out there and dominate and not really care about the bottom line. We don't care about the money. We care about the impact. And I think we made a great impact in our career.
So, September 18th, Douglas Park Riot Fest. Headline, no one thought it would happen, the reunion of the Misfits.
It's going to be good.
Danzig, Jerry, and Doyle. We thought it would never happen. It's happening.
Is it right there? I can't fucking hear you! This next song is about feeling out of place in the world you grew up in, the world you were born into. This song is called I Turned Into a Martian. Let's see, about 40 years ago, Jerry and I got on stage in New York and we shocked the whole fucking punk scene, didn't know what the fuck to make of us. We didn't look like anybody, we didn't sound like anybody. We were angry, pissed off, and we dressed all in fucking black. And we were always getting in fights and getting in shitloads of trouble every fucking night. And that's pretty much what punk was back then, getting fucked up and fucking people up. At least in New York City it was. This song goes back to the early days. This is called Where Eagles Dare. Have you ever thought about killing somebody? I know there's more of you out there who thought about it. Have you ever thought about killing somebody who pissed you off? This is a song of Folk Among Us just about that very thing. We're gonna do another song off Walk Among Us. Who all got that record out there? Who's got the Walk Among Us record? Y'all got that record? Okay, so this song is about the first real horror ghoul girl. How many ghoul gals we got out there? Let me hear you, ghoul gals. Let's hear this for the first one. This is called Vampira. Nice catch. All right, we got some other people up here with us. Over there on guitars, AC Slade. And on drums, you may know him from some of his other bands. It's Dave Lombardo up there on drums. And of course, you all know the Monster Man right there, Doyle. Jerry Only on bass. And then we're going to do a song of Walk Among Us right now. This is called All Hell Breaks Loose. We're gonna try tonight to play as much from every Misfits period that we can fit into the amount of time they've given us to play here on stage. All right. All right, so we're gonna go way back on this one. You know, if you want to sing along, feel more than free to do so. We love hearing it. And if you can't sing, scream your fucking nuts off. This is an old one. This is called Hybrid Moments. Shit, I don't think I've sung that one in about 35 years. Oh, hip. Uh-oh. You guys ain't getting tired, are you? Okay, here's another one we haven't done in a whole long time. Another misanthropic song. This is called Teenagers from Mars. Oh, you guys are getting tired, I can tell. I hope not, because we're gonna turn it up a notch right now. You ready, D? Okay, so, we're gonna do another one off Earth AD. Is that okay with you? It don't matter, we're doing it fucking anyway, so too bad. This one's called Devil Lock. What? I can't fucking hear you. Y'all wanna hear Hard Business? Alright, we're gonna do some more ones, I guess. Let's do Hard Business. Too much harder, motherfuckers, you know that, right? Alright, we're gonna do another one off that same EP, which was the Bullet EP. That's right. This is called Hollywood Babylon. Alright, so, as you know, back in the Misfits, I was talking about the Kennedys and all their evil fucking shit, even way back when. Criminal motherfuckers. That's right. Now everybody knows, but back then we got a whole lot of shit for it. And you know what I said? Fuck you, motherfucker! And this is another song I wrote about. This is called Who Killed Marilyn? This is 1962. I'll purchase a good alternative. Could have been my candidate. Was it fucking pumpkins? Yeah. They're pretty fucking cool. How would you like to have that on your fucking lawn on Halloween? And your neighbors would be like, oh, you gotta get rid of that. You'd be like, fuck you! Fuck you, motherfucker! Come and take it down, I'll fucking kill you. And that being said, here's another sweet love song I wrote way back in the day. They're all fucking love songs, just my kind of love, motherfucker. Just go die, die, my darling. catch. Okay, so it looks like we got like maybe 3 more for you guys. But if you're good, we'll come back and do a little more. You know how it is. This is one of my favorite songs of Folk Among Us. It's called Astro Zombie. Thank you. All right, so I'm sure you know this next fucking song. It's about cutting the heads off little girls. Putting them on your wall. I want to see who can sing louder, me or you. I think I can. Go Skulls! I want to All right, hang on, man. All right. All right, so Doyle and I are going to start this one off. Let me see, Doyle. Y'all know this one. I got something to say. I kill your name. You ready? One last guess we got 8 minutes, is what they told us. Probably 7 by now. But I want to thank Michael and everybody at Riot Fest for making this happen. They've been trying to make it happen for a long time. I hope you had a fucking historic evening tonight. And let's see. Shit. Hey, Doyle, give me a D. Alright, so you heard me talking about the Kennedys before. This is Bullet. This is going way back. Way back. This is our first single. And I think it cost us $60 to record it. Because we were broke ass motherfuckers and we didn't have no fucking money. This is called She. Of the Living Dead.
hybrid moments? Like, what is that about, really?
For a while, I had my own set of lyrics in my head.
In Angel Fuck, I was like going down on the fire plug because I didn't understand that because I didn't know what a fire plug is. I guess it's a fire hydrant. Is a fire plug a fire hydrant?
Oh, that braid, what is it? Not a braid, it's a
little tail flip in front that became the signature.
A braid.
It helps you kind of tell where you're going. If you have the devil lock out in front of you, in between your two eyeballs, you can walk down the street better.
What you see is what you get.
There was all these like sing-alongable choruses, the whole whoa, whoa, whoa thing.
They were the king of the woes.
The Misfits are basically a stoplight. Every song is either go or whoa or no. It's red, yellow, and green. It's got to be one of those three.